Hello YouTube and welcome to something a little bit different on the channel here today. Today I'm going to be watching the first episode, and the first episode only, of K-On! So that statement that I just said may spark questions from people that haven't seen the channel before and from people that have. Let's start with the people that haven't seen the channel before. Why are you only watching the first episode, buddy? I thought you reacted to anime. And anime aren't just one episode, it's multiple. Because here's the thing, I've seen this episode before. I've probably seen this episode, I was thinking maybe 20 times on the low end. Something like that. And yeah, I probably consider it my favorite singular episode. Maybe. There's also some later ones in K-On! That are quite good as well. And yes, longtime fans of the channel will know that K-On! Is my favorite show. By a pretty long way. I think it's perfect? Borderline? I could nitpick and find some stuff, but I really don't feel like it, and it's very, very difficult to do. So I guess that brings us to the next part, which is the why are you making this video? I needed something just for 1 week to make scheduling work for the channel, and I thought that this was a nice way to show off one of my favorite things, as well as, you know, something not low effort, but kinda. I don't need to focus as hard if it's, you know, something I've seen a lot. I can just kind of focus on telling you what's so great about it, right? And hell, if this thing kind of works as a format, maybe I'll spin this off into other shows that I'm really passionate about, other singular episodes, some breakdown type stuff. And yeah, I think the bulk of this video will take place in the second half after the reaction, where I go back through the episode and can glaze it a bunch. That's what I look forward to the most. But before the glaze begins, we must figure out who we are glazing. Of course, not that one. That one. There we go. K-On! Everybody. K-On! On ANN. Very, very cool. Somewhere there. That seems good. Right down to the staff. Who do we have at position 1A? We have Naoko Yamada. My favorite director? Yeah, I think I've said that previously as well. I froth everything Naoko Yamada has done, I think. I've seen most of it. Bar Tamako Market, I think. But most of the stuff. Oh, I haven't seen the new movie either, but it's on the agenda, don't you worry. She's just the best. Such an understanding of character, a soft, gentle directorial style, distinctly hers. She's just so fucking good. She's so good, man. And I hope to show that off with this first episode here. If we scroll down to episode director, this is also the singular episode in season 1 that Naoko Yamada herself directed. As well as that very, very famous ED, Don't Say Lazy. Look forward to it greatly, of course. I feel like all of these should be familiar names for people that are, you know, switched on. Reiko Yoshida, of course. Long-time worker with Naoko Yamada, part of that kind of triumvirate that she's rocking with as of recent with Kensuke Ushio. Kind of working with her at Science Saru now as well, which is cool. Not that Reiko Yoshida was ever really just a KyoAni person, but she's very good working in both the script and the series composition department for this episode. I think off the top of my head, Girls and Panzer as well, which was a bit of a pullback in the day. GGG, yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, loads of good stuff here actually as well. Interesting. Okay, it's a weird pick. But yeah, I'll echo what I said during Girls and Panzer as well, and click that link again apparently. Great understanding of character as well. I think you're seeing a theme here. That C-word character coming through so very much with this show and the staff involved. Juki Hanada doing some work on the screenplay here, but not specifically for this episode. But again, another famous name, I would say. A couple more famous names down here as well, if you're into your Kyoto Animation people, which is nice. But I'm trying to keep it at least a little bit central to this one episode, otherwise I'll just spin off into whatever. Now, I never really did look up who did the music here. Hajime Hyakoku? Sure. Because I really like the soundtrack, it's obviously incredible. I liked some of the music here. From memory, Kensuke Ushio involved as well, that's a bit of a pull. And New Game, maybe I've got to get on a New Game in the soundtrack there. Very cool. Probably the last name I'll look at here today is one Yukiko Horiguchi, who is the character designer, the chief animation director, and specifically animation directing this episode, as well as the opening and the ending. I guess you would describe them as a pretty important name in the whole Kyoto Animation thing as well. Well, we got here Hyoka, Free, Clanad, Chinibio, Beyond the Boundary, Air, Lucky Star, Tango Market, Nichijou, they're all there. And maybe a little bit of cameo work in Bocce the Rock as well, which we love to see. This 22/7 keeps coming up as well all the time. Yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah, has it been working lately? How old are they? No, it should still be working. It's a bit of a weird one. I guess there is some recent stuff in there. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I need to jump into the episode here pretty soon. Oh, I did want to talk about voice actors. So obviously this thing is stacked. Aki Toyosaki, incredible. She's just the GOAT. She's so good. You're going to see Yui do a bunch of Yui stuff in this episode. Hope you look forward to it. Yoko Hikasa as well, another famous name. Symphogear Heads, I know you're watching. Very, very cool. A very young Minako Kotobuki as well, sharing that surname too, which has always been a fun touch. Obviously went on to bigger and better things in a variety of roles. We would be familiar with her on the channel for Asuka from Hibike Euphonium, also with Kyoto Animation, of course. What I'm less familiar with is Satomi Sato, which Ritsu's amazing, so yeah, okay. Lots of shit. Do we have like another like super famous role here? Oh yeah, I think I did know this. Eru Chitanda from Hyoka. Big Hyoka head as well over here. I didn't know this. Maybe a young Tanjiro, because I believe it's old mate. You know, put his name on screen. It's that guy generally. Some free stuff, Fairy Tail, Fruits Basket. Oh yeah, I like Saki. She's cool. Yeah. Okay, don't know what I expected, but there's a few pulls here. Either way, I'm excited. I get to watch one of my favorite things, and I get to chill out for a second. It's quite nice. Yeah, I guess I should do a little bit of housekeeping. MTBB is the version I'm using. I'm not particularly married to any version of the show. I think they're all pretty good. Even the dub, the good dub, not the weird dub. I think that's pretty good too. If you're a dub head, go wild. And I guess if you haven't seen K-On! Before, what are you doing? Like, you should watch that show. Honestly, by yourself, you shouldn't even watch it here with me, right here and now, but you can if you want to. I mean, I'm not going to say no. But I guess I would say, even if it's not generally your thing, go in with an open mind. I think you'll find a lot to like. I think it's just, on every level, it's amazing. The glaze, it will not stop. So yeah, without any further ado, let's jump into the first episode of K-On! Rightio, I have the first episode of K-On! Up there ready to go. 24 minutes and 11 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. As I said before, I have the MTBB version. Use whatever version you'd like, but I'm using that one, so if you wanted to sync up subs and stuff, you could. There is also a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's get this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1. Go! Here we go. Now seriously, from right now to the opening is like perfect. It is perfect. The lighting and character, man. That's that word. I instantly know everything about her. And then she falls on her bum. Ready? This is so fun. I know exactly what's going to happen, man. It's great. This is new for me. The soundtrack. See if you can spot some familiar faces in the background here as well. Not here. That one. Who's that blonde girl, I wonder? Who are those two freaks? I guess we'll never know. That's like Kill la Kill energy. Shit, man. Bum bum ba-da. It's actually so perfect. I'm going to have fun when I break this down as well, because I can actually pause and make all these points that are running through my head. Let me enjoy the opening for a second too. Not my favorite K-On! Opening. I think I like the third one the best. Yeah. Just when they're hugging everyone, that's just... feels good. But I think this one's right up there with your classic kind of Kyoto Animation names on screen openings, introducing characters. You guys have one job as well as a kind of viewer right now. That one job is to tell me your favorite girl. And I know she's not here right now, but as this is part of the conversation, don't leave her out. She kind of gets, like, photoshopped in the opening later on, too, which is nice. Can you imagine, like, you're just watching, like, seasonal, like, whatever shows, and then you see this? Can you imagine? Notice the background. Spring has sprung. Sakura blossoms. And then the trees. Time has passed. Meaning through repetition. The people who were associated with the posters are now gone. Only replaced with posters for the stragglers left on the wall. Nautica the goat is here. Dude, little sound effects and cues are great too. Nito? Oh, this gets me thinking about all the flashbacks we have later to, like Yui eating a crayon or whatever. Like, all that kind of stuff. They've just been, like, together forever. Disbandment is what we're translating that as. Famous Naoko Yamada leg shot, too. Interesting. We're, like, hiding details early. Yeah, and then this is the first time we see them. Rip up that page, Ritsu. Come on now. Yeah, very aerial here. And lots of repetition. Who's that? Guess we'll never see her again. She's so professional and respectable. The scowl from Ritsu's crazy. Yui does not have one single brain cell. She was glaring before, and then she kind of stopped. Bumps her head. Look at the stuff on the table move. It's that difference. That's that Kyoto Animation shit, man. Why would you want to be a president? I guess you have like a budget or whatever. You get given money, I think. Keombu. Very famous piece of imagery and symbolism for the show too. The tortoise and the hare. Which again, that's like more big picture stuff about the entire point of the show. Lighting again. Very good. Yeah, I wonder who did the color. Maybe I should look that up too. Hello, Moogie. Moogie's here. I love following the character of Moogie through this scene. Like, what's she thinking? She buys in immediately, too. Eyes. So good. See, I got tricked the first time I was watching this show into thinking that that was real. Like, the first time I watched this scene. So I think they do a pretty good job of, like, selling it. She still said yes. So what is she being pulled in by? Exactly. Fun things are fun, I hear. Of course you are. Even just the small stuff there. I love that bow from Mio. Just stared off into space. I'm with you, Nautica. I'm with you. So much Moogie this episode, man. Isn't that strange? Look at her with the chips. Or should I say French fries? Those two things that Moogie suggests as well. No, but you're the president. Posters. There's that word again. Character. Character on all three of the posters. We do move very quickly through time this episode too. Repetition of shot. Keombu. Oh, excuse me. She really hits this shit though, man. That's great. More repetition. And that filter was fantastic to show the time period change. Yeah, I'm sure that's how it'll work. Would you like to join a band? It's like a cutaway gag. Oh. That tea set's never getting put away, and you know it. Hokago tea time. Yui's gonna hard carry. Trust the process. Why did she get, like, scared here? Yeah. Oh, in the back. I guess this is more just, like, visualizing the experience of trying something new. Like, it's tough to find your footing, I guess. Turtle. What's the turtle's name in season 2? Ton-chan or something? That sounds right. I guess the funny part is that Sawako's kind of that metal. So you actually just met somebody that was actually that scary and intense. These two, one of my favorite underrated pairing in the show. Ritsu and Yui have a bunch of good scenes. Oh, it's so good. The animation, man. Faces, the sound effects. Great shot. Looks so scary. What's this? G? Art style change there too is great. We must have such a professional on our hands. When in reality, we get a professional. It's just in 6 or 7 episodes. Because you're all so scary. Again, it's easier to focus on it when I'm not reading everything constantly. But the lighting, man. Great gag. Oh, really? Mugi's just straight on that same wavelength, too. Literally guilting her into joining. Sound design, too, the cups. I have my sister do everything for me. Not particularly specific. You need to grow a bit of a personality, buddy. She needs a bit of focus, right? Ritsu's so dramatic. Just straight for the waterworks. Speaking of... big cartoonish tears. Just turns on a dime as well. Now, I believe they changed this to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something in the dub, which I like that change. Even if you don't get the good stuff where... apparently I hear when they do some zoom-ins on some of the guitar work and stuff, it's pretty accurate to what you would actually be playing. Like, that sure seems like it's in sync to me. And we don't really get a good look at the frets there regardless on the bass for me. Do you call them frets on a bass? I've got no clue. Great stuff with the hand movement there too. Because that was always a big thing in Hibike as well. The music reflecting, like actually, like what's the animation, you know? Like they match up is my point. Love the rug pull here too. We did it. I guess I'll talk a little bit more about... I'm pretty sure this is a pretty popular fan theory. But, like, you know when they play music and it sounds good? That's kind of just what, you know, they think it sounds like. In reality, they're all not very good the whole show. But again, it's about the people you're playing with, not the quality of the music. I was never coordinated enough for the guitar either, because I got lessons very early in life. I'm a bit unco, and that's okay. Just some great writing stuff this episode too. Like this Nautica Yui thing is basically running throughout, even from the very first like shot of the show. Nope. Instruments are infamously expensive too. Not $50. Try like 500, and even then it's probably not a very good one. Ooh, the hair flick. It was so good. It just put me on a good mood as well. I like that. That's what I love about this show, man. Even beyond all the really nerdy stuff that's really good about it, it just puts me in a good mood, and that's what more can you ask for? And I'm also talking over one of the best like ending sequences ever, so I better stop. I don't bring this one out often, but this is very slay. Am I using that one right, chat? Having two vocalists is such an advantage too. You can tackle different kind of styles of music, and yeah, it's a big advantage. It's really, really good for lots of stuff. I'd love to see Naoko Yamada go back to something that's a little bit more spunky instead of I like the yearning, beautiful brilliance of Liz and a silent voice and all that kind of stuff, but go back home. I'd love a return to something like this from her. I think the market's like right for it too, in my opinion. And here's a preview of something I'm not going to be watching, but I have seen before. Episode 2, for the record, is very, very good as well. Love the scene where kind of Mugi reveals her family connection, I guess you could say. Oh, and her getting like distracted on the pedestrian crossing there. Well, that was just swell. I had a great time doing that. It is 9:45 at night, so I better go to bed for work tomorrow. But I will return tomorrow, and we'll talk about that episode in a lot of detail. I have a lot to say about it. It is my opinion has not changed. It is perfect. It is pretty much perfect. There's one small little thing I'll talk about tomorrow that I would change, but that's it. That is it. It is so good. And as somebody that is known as a little bit of a nitpicker sometimes, for me to be saying that is a very high bar. But we'll leave it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a little bit more analysis. And we're back. It's the next day. The first episode of K-On! Has been watched once again. What did I think of it? I think it's perfect. I think it's just swell. Every single superlative you could think about is what I feel about, or at least the positive ones, about this episode of K-On! Think of a word to describe good. That word describes this. Yeah, I'm pretty hot on it. And I knew that. For a long time, this has been one of my big favorites. And yeah, I'm happy I get to share it with you guys, I guess. One of the things I noted in the reaction as well, it felt a lot less stressful, because I don't feel stressed when I record, but sometimes I do. Like, I gotta gather information, I gotta get it, at least on some level, and this is just something I already get, so I can just focus on how good it is at expressing what it wants to express. Particular standouts to me was that word again, character. Character through everything, through the writing, through the animation, through the art, the character designs, the faces, the everything. Another thing, I don't know if my mind's tricking me, but I feel like the character designs look way younger than I remember them. And I guess they do age up with time a little bit. It's got a little bit of that Hibike euphonium going on as well. You compare season 1 Kumiko to season 3 Kumiko, and they look way different, which is fair enough. They've kind of went from, 15 or 16 through to 17 or 18, right? Or even more than that. That's when you change a lot. I don't know if you guys know that. So yeah, I kind of imagined them looking different. They look very young. I mean, obviously on screen that's middle school Yui, but like same difference, I think. So I think on this second rewatch here, where I go back through and glaze it all over again, try not to repeat myself, of course, we're going to focus on that word character, and we're going to focus on how this operates as a pilot, how this operates as a setup for a show that will continue, and, you know, setting up dynamics, setting up premise, setting up everything. Let's just have another look, I guess. So first things first, here we get a picture of Nodoka and Yui. This is middle school. They've obviously graduated here, of course. Very, very cool. Surprising in Yui's case that she was able to graduate, but I digress. This is paired with a ticking clock in the audio department, right? So one, it's diegetic to the scene because there's an alarm clock that needs to wake up Yui, right? Maybe the personification of an alarm clock here for Yui in many facets of her life over here as well. But it's also metaphorical. Like, Yui is running out of time. She needs to figure out what it is she needs to do with her life. Her life needs to take some kind of direction here once she enters high school, right? We see it in the kind of last bit of the episode here. She's kind of just fluffing about and she doesn't really have much of a personality. She kind of needs to grow an interest or two, make some new friends, branch out from Noriko, who's been very much like a mum type friend. You know, the mum friend. Maybe needs to find some new people in her life to share some experiences with and grow as a person. Zoom out from that picture on like a corkboard or something. You know what I say about characters in their bedrooms. It's a view into their personality. So you got this like freaky looking doll over here, if I can find it. Yeah. What do you reckon that's about? It's got a bit of a keyboard on it. Is that anything? It's very Yui, without me being able to describe it very well. Next thing, new uniform. Obviously not prepared by Yui, you would imagine prepared by Ui, her sister. Oh, this is very interesting too, the school bag. School bag's very important for later stuff. It plays a pivotal role in basically the last scene in the show, so that's a fun one we're setting up very, very early. A pair of tights on the chair as well, I think. And then, obviously struggles to wake up a little bit before her mind kind of catches up with itself and she remembers what today actually is. Well, there's a bit of a post on the wall here too. I wonder what that is. Anyway, it looks like something. Anyway, this is our character. She's a little bit klutzy. She waits for the alarm to go off and then snooze it instead of, being in up and at 'em going type of person. Another couple of things display this kind of clumsy and ramshackle aspect of her personality. She slips to have a look at, I'm imagining this is a phone of some kind, before sliding out after getting her uniform on, falling on her ass, as we could see there. And fantastically well animated as well to boot. We don't need to say that about Kyoto Animation, but it's true. Noticing the piece of toast on the table, grabbing just a piece with some jam or jelly, and then just running out, right? Classic anime protagonist toast in the mouth type energy. It's a trope for a reason. It's a classic for a reason. It works. Again, and I think that this is just kind of identifiable for everybody. Like, it seems like unless you're a very specific type of person, at some aspect of your life, you're going to feel rushed and like you need to catch back up with everybody, and this is like signifying that. It's relatable is my point. But either way, I haven't dropped the kicker of the scene, right? Which is that she's an hour early. She read the clock wrong. Which I don't know how that's possible because she looked at her alarm clock, which was analog, and then looked at her digital phone. So she had two chances and still fucked up. And it goes without saying, but the soundtrack here is immense. Carries this first scene. It's almost like Yui's theme in a lot of ways, I think, this particular track. And it's great, right? Because, like, let me hide myself for a second. Because she's in, like, such a rush, but she still, like, stops and smells the roses, pats the cats, all that normal good protagonist stuff, right? She just goes a mile a minute and she doesn't know where to begin on anything. She just kind of, she's like a puppy. She just kind of goes wherever her mind tells her to go. The best example of this is in the next episode where she's crossing that crosswalk and then gets stopped and distracted by two different things. As well as I think she tries to buy a guitar and wants to buy some clothes instead with the money she's got. Like, she doesn't think very much, and I find that endearing. I don't know. I wonder which one is the anime protagonist, guys. I wonder. There's Mugi in the back for those that missed it. Sumugi, of course. She seems like she's a bit early as well, if she's passing the same path as Yui at the same time. Ritsu and Mio as well, taking a photo. Of course, Mio's got that thing with the camera going on all through season 1 pretty much. And I invoked Kill la Kill, which actually came out after this, but this feels very Gainax-y. It feels like, she's about to overthrow the establishment. But I guess it works for the intents and purposes of the show insofar as she's tackling this challenge head on. She's ready for it, whatever it may be, even if she doesn't know what it is yet. But again, much like her flip-floppy personality, we get into the actual stage of what high school and what being a high schooler means, joining a club, making new friends, forging bonds, becoming yourself. and she gets overwhelmed by it all those kind of posters in her face. She has the best intentions, but she can't quite, make it all the way through yet. And yeah, I mean, we're just gonna watch some of this stuff verbatim. It's some of the best character animation I've ever seen. Like, holy shit, is it good? Look at the hair go, man. Like, you're telling me you're not loving that? I mean, the opening honestly deserves its own video. Yeah, I mean, again, I said it's very much like that Kyoto Animation kind of names on screen, character introduction type opening. Perfect for, again, a slice of life show of this ilk, with some really slick animation on the guitar playing as well. And yeah, just in the order there of this shot, we have Ritsu pulling in both Mio and Mugi before Yui joining later, which kind of mirrors the events of the episode, which is a nice touch. Here I'm going to say something somewhat controversial. I prefer the Yui singing stuff to the Mio singing stuff. I guess Mio's always come across as a little bit more of a production. Like, it feels like she's a professional because Yoko Hikasa is, right? She's very good at this. Where it feels like Aki Toyosaki is a voice actress first, right? Where I think that adds to the quality of the songs. Like, I think imagining Yui performing them is better than the songs probably sounding better, which they do through Mio. That being said, I think the preferable version overall is the two of them singing together. I think that's when the kind of whole band really clicks. Something I really like about all of the K-On! Openings, in contrast to the endings, I feel like they're all diegetic. I feel like this is something that they made in universe, you know what I mean? We have this shot here of Yui trying to do like something cute or something, and then she gets embarrassed, as well as the kind of stationary shot of them just kind of playing the song. It feels like they set this up themselves. Like, I don't feel like the camera is ever in any kind of unrealistic spots for something that shouldn't be able to be done by a high schooler. And obviously this comes through in the other openings. We have that kind of big old rotating shot in the second opening. I'd like to imagine that Sawako's just got the camera and is kind of running around in a circle around them. And of course it's very evident with that third opening, lots of like holding up signs and pointing and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, it feels like they made a trailer for their own kind of club slash group, which kind of matches in universe because they're trying to find members later on in this this season, and they succeed in doing so. Spoilers, I guess. Oh, love that shot of Ritsu with the drums too. One of my absolute favorites. Yeah, so good. One thing I don't like as much, it feels like Azusa is like an afterthought to this opening, if that makes any sense. Obviously you can't have her in it straight away, but I would like a little bit more change in that opening to accommodate her once she is actually introduced. I feel like that would be preferable. Yeah, it feels like she's kind of superimposed in there, probably because she is. I noted in the reaction we see this particular shot 3 times, each time with the color of the trees changing, denoting the season progressing and Yui not making any progress, right? Her kind of walk cycle here is fantastic. It's befitting of somebody that just has no clue what to do. It's unassuming given form. Some nice shake on the camera here as all the clubs swarm her immediately, join the tennis club, join the judo club, and I don't think Yui's had to think that much about anything in her entire life, so being given this much choice all at once, of course it's going to be overwhelming. She has choice paralysis and doesn't pick anything. Immediately we see that the season has changed, and yeah, nobody else is out here trying to gather new members anymore because they haven't had to. They got everybody already. Like, they did their big sweep on the first day to try to get people. It's replaced with just posters on a wall. She still can't quite pick anything that she wants to do. I'm skipping past so much choice animation work as well. The small look of adorable determination she has here, like right there, into just like, I guess I should do something. What? Kyoto Animation are different. Nobody does this, or at least, unless you're like top echelon, you just don't do shit like this. Cue the first scene since like the very start where she's actually bouncing off of another character, which is another interesting choice. We don't really get, much Yui conversating until now, where Nautica is horrified that you haven't found a club within the first 3 weeks or so of school. I guess the point of the scene by the very end is that Yui needs a direction. Nautica thinks that you're going to become a NEET if you don't make it anywhere. Love the placement of the camera here, just kind of this, almost stereotypical sitcom-y shot of outside staring off into the distance, a character asking a rhetorical question. just feels very pointed and very classic in a way I like. The zoom there's great too. It's like Nautica's aware of the camera. That's really fun. Okay, yeah, that's great. Now, I've seen this episode title kind of translated multiple ways. I don't mind disbandment, but I feel I have seen another better one elsewhere. I don't know. And again, it's better. I just like the word better. I don't know if it translates better. But I mean, this is the first introduction to K-on's iconic eye catchers. Just kind of the tape here and the little tune. Fantastic stuff. Now, I know it's a meme, but Naoko Yamada and legs has become a thing for a reason. She does it quite a bit. Just off the top of my head, think about the start of Liz and the Bluebird. A lot of legs in that. And again, I think her justification is that you can tell a lot about somebody just looking at what their legs are doing. And I think she's also said doubly so for particularly female characters and younger female characters at that. The example we have here is Mio standing stationary, at least I'd assume it's Mio, or walking very slowly, bit more proper and prim, that kind of stuff, where Ritsu doesn't fucking care and she's just kind of sprinting. Fair enough. And we see this multiple times in this scene as well, the kind of the camera placed above them. Yeah, it almost feels like they're performing in a play of their own lives, if that makes any sense. It's there's something about it. It feels like it's being filmed, no? Huh. Yeah, I feel like that's intentional. Like, this is almost like the documentary footage of the start of the band or something. So we've already discussed the character of Yui a lot. She is a little bit directionless. She means well. She wants to do the best, but sometimes she gets in the way of her own self and that kind of stuff. Fair enough. You could throw Nautica in there as well, being a lot of the mum character, very responsible, glasses, very important in that regard as well for characterization. Then we have Ritsu and Mio, who are quickly established as pretty close friends. Ritsu is the chaotic one, and Mio is the not chaotic one. She's very switched on and smart and stuff, and Ritsu is not. And I guess what's important here is that we establish that they have a close connection. They're close enough for this not to be a deal breaker. You know, you can do this kind of stuff with your best friends, but not acquaintances. Acquaintances will be like, that's off-putting. Best friends, you know that there's a level of trust there. And Ritsu grabbing Mio by the arm, rushing her into this room before finding out that the Light Music Club, the Keonbu, has been disbanded. There's nobody left. There's nothing to join, I guess. And I guess the stakes of the episode established there as well. We need 4 members by the end of the month, otherwise the club itself will just be gone. Of course, rewatchers of the show will, know who this character is and their importance. And I guess the specific nature of this line, good luck with the Light Music Club. Obviously, a former member is Sawa-chan. This is where our storylines converge as well. We see Ritsu and Mio locking eyes with Yui, noticing that she has terrible tempo and is a little bit of a klutz. We should avoid a girl such as that. Obviously not knowing her name at this time and getting excited when reading the name later that we have a new member, not knowing who it is. It's the girl with terrible tempo. She kind of goes at her own tempo. I don't know if it's terrible, but it's something alright. Yeah, I don't know how you just sit there or stand there and then drop all the papers instantly. She's just a walking disaster. Some really cartoonish sound effect work I noticed on the rewatch this time as well. I seem to remember a big old bomp when she fell on her ass during the opening. Yeah, just some nice like knee knocking sounds, knee clattering. It's like she's nervous. And I think it befits a show that is as expressive as this one, right? I don't feel like it is out of place, where potentially such sound effects in something like Sound Euphonium would be out of place. Being a fan, I recognize so many poses from this episode in memes as well, this being one of them. I love this one. This one's great. I'll probably park the concept of the tortoise and the hare for now. That's a topic of an entire video essay, if I'm honest, and a relook on the entire series. But just spoilers for it, the turtle is Yui. And who ultimately wins the race? What is the race for? Yeah, great stuff. The race is life. And even though she's going at her own pace, she may end up more successful than all these people that try to rush through it. Or even not successful, happy, which I think is the ultimate, best thing for people, right? Like, who cares if you're successful if you're happy, you know? During the reaction as well, I noted the lighting. This is a very specific scene for it. As the kind of afternoon moves from mid-afternoon into late afternoon, we see the sun kind of dip in the scene, which is great. I think it's very interesting back here a little bit, where we're first introduced to Ritsu and Mio, that we get, really blown out lighting. Like, it almost feels like it's being recollected and details are being left out. To be honest, it could just be kind of like, hey, we don't want to draw this background. That could be it as well, but I think it works. They make it work. Yeah, we see it on the turtle here. The shadow dipping, very, very cool. The lighting of the room entirely changing, and yeah. What's the plan here? Ritsu's just in a room waiting for people to show up, and then they ensnare Mugi? Is that what actually happens here? I guess so. And speak of the devil, here she is. But in this case, it's not a devil, it's just Tsumugi Kotobuki. Mugi was my favorite for a very, very long time. Spoilers, I guess. Before it was Yui, I just thought about it a lot more, and I think I like Yui better. I've spent most of the video so far talking about her. So, you know. But yeah, Mugi's the best. Come on, man. Like, she's just the sweetest. She's the sweetest, and I love that. I love filling in the blanks of Mugi's character, which she kind of says a little bit here and there, but, you know, it's not ever really fully explored with its own focus episode. Outside of a few cases, I guess you could say that the similar concept is explored in that episode where she wants to be slapped or whatever, or punched. It's one of the two. Point being, she's this rich girl, right? She's obviously lived this rich girl lifestyle. Very, like, people know about her. She comes with a lot of baggage. Am I making any sense? Like, you would have to already know that she's the rich girl at school and therefore act accordingly to that, right? There'd be a fakeness to everything. Everybody would want to be nice to you just to get further ahead in life, right? If you have money, you could potentially give me money if, you know, I'm nice to you. That kind of stuff, right? It feels already fake. And I think what she is attracted to here is something real, and that real connection between Ritsu and Mio, making her want to join. She never wanted to join this club. She got sold on this club through this interaction in this scene, and I just think that's super sweet. We see other aspects of this kind of sheltered girl stuff come through a little bit later when they're at the fucking McDonald's or whatever, where this is her first time ordering fast food. She also doesn't know what to do with the fries, where she just kind of adds them all to the pile, which isn't what you really do, but they don't say anything. She's just going along with the flow, I guess. I think, again, it's the background stuff. This is the stuff that you don't really consider. It's not the plot of the episode, but it's still there, and it rewards rewatches, which is, again, what we're doing here and now. Point being, Mugi didn't know what she was looking for until she found it. And she found it in these two, and she instantly knew that she wanted to join. She very much has this kind of, again, rich girl persona, being classically trained on the piano and moving towards the keyboard as the show continues. I think that's great too. Either way, I'm getting ahead of myself. We have Ritsu here absolutely rushing in and, you know, crowding Mugi. Where again, Ritsu's just kind of desperate for anything here at this time, like any member. And Ritsu's funny because it's half this like genuine motivation of wanting to be in a band or something that she's kind of shared with Mio in the past that isn't exactly how she said it was, but also still happened. I just kind of embellished it. But also this want for power. She just wants to be president. So she wants whoever in the band, doesn't matter who. More to the point with Mugi, I feel like Mugi actually buys this scene a lot more than somebody that's a little bit more trained. Again, it screams of not having a lot of social interaction and not being around a lot of people that joke. Or like improv, I guess. The overdramatic, cheesy music here doing a lot to buoy the scene, and I noted during the reaction this one shot of her eyes kind of going that way. Like, oh, I'm joking. I'm tricking ya. Again, the difference. We keep talking about it, right? That's... Nobody else does this shit. And yeah, I've seen reactions to this episode where people aren't sure about K-On! As a show yet, and they're unsure if they want to take this scene seriously. It's very funny watching that kind of play out. They're like, oh, hang on, should it be... Is this actually their attempt at a little bit of depth? It's like, no, it's very obviously fake. This is really fun as well. I feel like it mirrors a scene later in the show where they actually go and see a band live, and they... You know, that scene on the hill in kind of the moonlight, that's a pretty impactful scene for that group, and it kind of, you know, fulfilling this prophecy from very early. And yeah, the rug pull. Hey, I was lying. I've tricked you. I've deceived you. We were just watching the scene on a television and imagining things instead. But here's my thing. Mio's still got those eyes, man. She's enraptured as well. It kind of reminds me of Azusa a little bit later in the series, where she's very enraptured with the performance that the girls put on. Just kind of this, you know, I'm stunned by how good this is, and I'm inspired. Where again, that's their personality, Azusa and Mio. Where this is way more Ritsu. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She's not going to hide anything, I guess. Because again, I said I would do it. I said I wanted to be in a band. Despite everything, she has to admit that. And yeah, as I said before, Mugi is charmed by their close connection as friends. She wants to join in on such a thing. And yeah, just some simple classic stuff in the edit as well. Ritsu obviously welcoming Mugi into the group, and now we just need a guitarist, and then the camera cuts to Yui. Again, even if they don't know it yet, we know that she's going to be the guitarist. Again, we've seen the opening, we've seen the poster of the show, we know that she's going to play guitar. I guess it gives the episode this great sense of destiny, where, again, we know where it's going to go, but seeing that journey is still very heartwarming. I like it, right? Again, this is the topic of an entire video essay as well, the stuff about Mugi and her hidden characterization. But again, as I said, like, never being to fast food before, what does that imply? You'd go and have burgers after school with your friends. She never had friends close enough to do something like that. Whenever she wanted a burger and fries or that kind of stuff, right? You know, the parents would always probably take her somewhere a little bit more fancy, right? But this is just a kid, and she wants to be a normal kid, and she's relishing this opportunity. She's like... I love it. I love this concept. I feel like you get a lot of this with Kaguya-sama as well. That's what I really love about Kaguya as a character there. Yeah, just rich girl experiencing normal shit is a really cool trope. I really like it. I will say in this episode, we don't get much of the other thing about Mugi. Wink, wink. Which comes up a little bit later in the series. Yeah, I was watching for it. I couldn't see anything, but, you know, it comes up. Doubling down on this again in the dialogue of this scene, Mugi suggesting a fabulous prize for somebody to join being a vacation home or a car. She has a warped value of things. It's like, oh, we don't have enough money for that. Instead of giving her like a side eye or giving her a weird look or, you know, pushing her away because of that, they still include her. It's like, oh, not quite, but, you know, it's all just lovely. They're just good friends, and it makes me emotional. I like that. In grand Ritsu fashion as well, she loses interest immediately, and we need Mugi to recenter things. You know what's a good idea to get new members? Probably making a poster. And there's that word again, character. Let's look at the different posters, everybody. Also, again, very famous shot that is repeated through the entire series. Very, very cool. I should mention the real-life location of the school as well, which actually exists, and you can visit and stuff. Well, I don't know if you can visit, but it exists. Okay, Ritsu. Ritsu's is chaotic as fuck. She's also personified an instrument. I feel like this is supposed to be a guitar, but it looks a little bit more like a cello or a double bass or something. So yeah, you know, it's a little bit more... What's the word? Eccentric. A little bit punky in spots even. I like the pink for a color choice. Compared to Mio's, that is a little bit more meek and internal and stuff, a little bit more embarrassed about everything, but still very cute. But evidently the text itself not big enough to be read. It doesn't operate as a good poster. Again, we see Mio struggling with public speaking and a lot of stuff throughout the series. I feel like this is a good kind of reflection of that. The one we ultimately go with here is Mugi's. Very neat, very proper, but very good drawing too. Hello. Okay, that's a nice guitar. But yeah, no dialogue there, but tons of character. Just great stuff. Great direction, everybody. And yeah, lo and behold, we get the final shot of the kind of triumvirate of the Yui walking shots. You know, the Sakura Blossom's completely gone now. It's almost the end of the month. She has one more look just off to the side here. And oh yeah, that's a new post. I haven't seen that one before. Huh. Light Music Club? I was good at, you know, playing the castanets at school, like preschool. I guess this is the thing for me. It's also light music. It's not, you know, hard music. It's light. It's easy, right? You know what's a nice subtle thing here as well? Because I think the implication from the very end of the series, spoilers, is that Yui's going to be a teacher, which is great. Obviously reflecting Sawa-chan back, which is some nice stuff too. This first interaction with a teacher just saying that she's very, like, passionate and she's playing very well, it could be sneaky deep. Like, this could be that moment where she gets inspired to at least try this kind of thing. Like, seems to be a core memory. It's the thing that got her into music and into the light music club. Maybe she wants to be that kind of inspiration for other people later on in life. Again, full-on fan theory territory, but I like it. I feel like it's important. And yeah, also the reflecting shots there, showing that she hasn't changed very much at all. See? Great stuff. We rendezvous with Nautica, who says, are you sure they want to start a band and are looking for a guitarist? Are you fit for that kind of thing, Yui? It's like, I can play the castanets. And I feel like this kind of cutaway here is a little bit of an outlier with the rest of the series. We don't really get much stuff like this outside of this. Like, almost Family Guy-esque. Yeah. I don't know if I like it, but obviously the animation itself is iconic. Just some really nice rewatchy stuff as well. Put that nice looking tea set away when you're done. That tea set is not getting put away, ever. They're Hokago tea time for a reason. They're about the tea first, and the sweets, and then the music. That's kind of the vibe, right? Which again, I feel like that feeds into the point of the show. It's never about the music. It's about the friendships that you make. It's about the connection that the band represents more than anything else. It's about making friends in high school and that kind of stuff rather than, any larger goal. And again, we don't need a character to fucking point at the screen and tell you that. That's what's good about this show. They don't fucking need to, right? Anime is a kind of medium, I guess, or I guess you would call it a medium. It's generally very bad about subtlety, or at least gets a bad rap for that kind of stuff, and having a show that is a little bit more subtle than that is nice. Either way, our three girls here very excited about getting a new member, not knowing that the member in question is the clumsy girl with bad tempo. Here she is, clumsy, bad tempo, fucking walking all over the place, and just getting kind of scared, I guess. Okay, here's my two criticisms for the episode, and I'll just knock them over now. I feel like we don't really justify why Yui's scared. She's just kind of, as somebody that doesn't really think a lot, she's not an overthinker, is my point. Why would she get scared walking up to the club room? I justified in the reaction. I guess it's the manifestation of that kind of nervous energy going to a new club, of stepping out, I guess. But it always come off as a little bit weird to me. The other one is I feel like the pacing drops about here in the episode, where we just do too many jokes of, we need to kind of keep Yui here. I feel like there's one or two too many jokes there. I feel like you could have trimmed that up and maybe extended the performance section. Other than that, the episode is perfect, in my opinion. This is another thing I never understood. Who is this girl in the back? I know that there's an occult club at some point in the show. Is that them? I don't know. It's just... It's freaking me out, man. Having said all that, I really do love this section where she literally walks right past the turtle. Again, the tortoise on her journey to success. It may be scary. It may seem like I'm falling way behind. But, eventually I'll get there. And I guess at some point along the way, she decided that she was just going to tell them that she was quitting. And now she's thinking that they're going to be scary when I tell them that I'm going to be quitting. So again, that's the point of the rest of the scene in the show, basically. I wanted to tell them I'm not going to do it because playing the guitar sounds scary, and I kind of lied to them. But again, overcoming that and realizing that they don't really even care about that kind of stuff is, that's the journey. Again, character. But yeah, imagining the light music club as some, hard rocking super dudes is on brand, I think. Again, based on the previous iterations of the Light Music Club anyway. But no, they're just nice girls. They're very nice. Just so many iconic shots in this episode, man, too. Holy. I mentioned in the reaction as well, underrated relationship here between Ritsu and Yui. Just chaos. Chaos in kind of personified. Have the funniest interactions in the show, in my opinion. That's what I love about K-On! As well. You can pair up any of the two girls and you have a suite of fantastic iconic scenes. There's fantastic Mio Yui scenes. There's fantastic Azusa Ritsu scenes. There's fantastic everybody scenes. They're all great. In our brief kind of introductions to the characters as well, it's clear to see that they're putting on airs. They're trying to be very polite and respectful and stuff, trying to attract that new member, desperate to be a going concern, desperate to continue to exist. And that's what all this is, right? Bringing out the cakes and the tea and stuff. We wouldn't normally do this kind of thing, but because we're trying to impress somebody, we're going to make a special occasion and make her feel very nervous and unable to quit in the process. It's very funny how this just becomes grandfathered into something that they do every single time. Again, I just think that's sweet. Pun intended. Again, lighting doing a lot of work here. This intimidating, overly... I've been embellished I'm not who I say I am. I feel overcrowded and overstuffed. It's like the low angle there's doing a lot too. Just great stuff. The lighting and the kind of camera. Even this shadow here. Yeah. Great stuff. Like, and again, all this kind of camera and lighting stuff and the shot selection and blah, 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 the storyboarding may seem all very simple. May seem like stuff like, yeah, anybody could have done that. But anybody did it, right? This is an understanding of fundamentals that most people just don't have, and is the reason why Naoko Yamada is as good as she is. She demonstrates that she can just fucking do it at the lowest level. Before elevating, before going theatrical, before doing period pieces, before doing anything. She can just do it. She knows what she's fucking doing, you know? I've always loved this joke with the J's and the famous guitarists that start with the letter J and just kind of keeps going. And yeah, if you're kind of into your rock and that kind of stuff, there is a few references in this show that, you know, that'll surprise you that they go there. Specifically, Hendrix, I think, is shouted out multiple times. Anyway, again, I'm not much of a rock guy, but yeah, it's nice, you know. It feels like there's a trend at the moment. Well, there's been a trend for a long time. Like, cute girls do esoteric interest and profit, you know? I think there's like a, you know, cute girls doing cute things geology show, and there's like fishing shows about that, and like all sorts of bullshit. And it always just works if you know the hobby as well, because they go into specifics and you can be like, oh, I know that. Yeah, I feel like that's a tried and true formula that they are aping off of here, I think. And yeah, adding to the tension of the scene, they think that they pick Jeff Beck, who is a really technical guitarist. You must be extremely talented at the guitar if you're picking that kind of person. And yeah, the hole is getting deeper and deeper that Yui needs to dig herself out of. It's very funny, as I noted in the reaction as well. Azusa comes in and is everything that is advertised. She is extremely talented and technical and passionate about all this stuff. And yeah, standing in great contrast to Yui, but we must remember, it was never about the music, it's about the connections. If it was about the music, Azusa would have went to a different club. But again, that's for a later episode's discussion. Yeah, I guess kind of continuing on from my criticism from before, I feel like this seed is like to a boiling point, right? It's like a kettle for the tea, where when the kettle boils is when she reveals that, hey, I actually came here to ask to quit, right? We reveal that here, and there's still like a good couple minutes left in the scene. It then turns to, hey, despite that, we need to convince her to stay. I feel like if we stayed in that point of, you know, rising tension to, oh shit, the reveal hasn't happened yet, I feel like this scene wouldn't drag as much as it does. But again, very nitpicky for a criticism there. Love this gag, though, with the harmonica, right? I lied again, I can't play the harmonica. There's a small moment there where they ask, like, well, you must have come here for a reason, right? And then Yui doesn't really have an answer. Again, that's more to her arc of not really growing a personality yet. But the girls are adamant that they want to keep her around regardless, no matter what. Oh my god, the line that spawned 1,000 desserts. We can have snacks together every day. Oh my god. You devil. Should mention the Ritsu kick here as well. Oh, look at the animation. And then just bang. Like one frame there. That's so good. And the sound effects doing a lot here. And kind of the tea set clattering. Yeah, fantastic. Either way, Yui's a tough egg to crack, saying that she would rather slough around at home and eat than anything else. We can't really bounce off of that for any other interests. She's very hard to reel in. Where again, contrast that at the very end of the show, if you were to ask her the same question, she would have a bunch of different interests and things that she could say, right? She fucking leaves the country by the end of everything, man. She's grown. She's grown up. That's fantastic. Yeah. This show's so good. Like, starting here as a blank slate, but through the course of it, you know, it feels so realistic. It feels like what high school is. Like, kind of condensed is Yui's character arc. I love it. I think this is a larger conversation as well about the difference between Season 1 K-On! And Season 2 K-On! Season 2 K-On! Is way more in line with Naoko Yamada and her latest stuff. It's very grown up. Where this feels... it feels like a comedy. It feels like a slice of life show that you would just kind of see. I think this kind of animation style adds to that. It's a little bit more rough, less, you know, detail on the features and that kind of stuff. I've always really liked this stuff, and it's why I ultimately probably prefer Season 1 to Season 2. Ultimately. but they're very close. They're obviously both just perfect. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff I really enjoy. It feels like they were going for bigger swings and were less uniform in season 1 than 2. That's another thing you could say about Yui. She's very bipolar. She goes from crying her eyes out here, bawling, to, oh my god, you're going to play some music for me? Instantly changing her mood. Like, that's great. And I mean, I don't need to talk about this scene and its importance to everything. It's literally reflected at the very end of the show. If you guys know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But this is significant, man. It's like it's so good. For the record, I probably like the TV anime version of this scene over the movie version, which probably goes a little bit too overdramatic, but both are good. And obviously the movie has that fantastic performance of you and I, which is, yeah. Anyway, we don't need to talk about it. And yeah, they play for her. Again, in the dub, I believe it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. This could spawn off into, again, a whole other video essay topic about, does K-on's music actually sound good in universe? I'm of the opinion of no. It only sounded good because of the people that were playing it and their close connection. And once you're part of that group, you think that everything sounds fucking awesome. And again, at the end of the show, when they're doing their performances for the whole grade and that kind of stuff, like, their schoolmates know who they are. It's infectious. I think if you were to take somebody that didn't know them and to bring them in, they would say that the music doesn't sound quite as good. Which is, again, you have your cake and you eat it too, pardon the pun, by having the music sound good, but also implying that it doesn't. Like, you can spin off that music and do shows and concerts and sell records and that kind of stuff because it is good. But I think in universe, you're not breaking anything. Like, it works so good. They just thread that needle perfectly. I feel like this kind of, grip on the skirt, this kind of tug, is reflected in Azusa later on as well. This specific shot. Also, bags again, which is, again, very important to later stuff. Show me the bags, damn it. There they are. Yeah. Very important scene with the bags later on. Another one I really like is Ritsu taking off the blazer and putting on a sports jacket to play drums, because playing drums in a blazer is fucking terrible. You wouldn't have the, dexterity to do it. It'd be pulling you back. It'd be uncomfortable. Like, they actually think about this kind of stuff. It feels like, musicians were involved. And yeah, there's the kicker. It's hard to put into words, but you guys aren't very good at all. But it looked really fun. Again, it's the same thing that drew Mugi in. Fun things are fun, baby. Seeing the dynamic, seeing the relationship here, seeing the everything that transpired in this scene leading up to this was the selling point rather than just the music. And again, if I can learn to play and be a group with you guys, then that's what's ultimately important, I think. And yeah, if you've seen the show, you know the significance of this shot as well. That's what makes rewatches so rewarding as well. They care about things that have happened previously and reference to them again. I believe in future iterations, you have a little Azusa just kind of pasted in here, which is great. And look at the forehead on it. Jesus, I know I can't talk and I'm hiding it, but holy, what a hairline. And yeah, by the very end of the episode, resigning herself to learning how to play guitar, we'll teach you some stuff, and then the little swipe on the way through, your performance makes me think that maybe I can play too. It's like, oh, shit. And yeah, I love how shocked Nautica is. And yeah, she says, oh yeah, you must be the manager, not as an actual player. It's like, oh, it feels a lot harsher when somebody else says it. Oh, it's so funny. It's so good. And yeah, Yui isn't going to change overnight. She still didn't think this through very well. Are you going to borrow a guitar? Are you going to buy one? How are you actually going to learn? Who's going to teach you? Are you going to get formal lessons? Do you need some books or something? We just don't think. We just do. And yeah, Nautica warning the light music club that they probably don't know what they're getting into with Yui. Oh my god, the animation! Look at this hair flick from Mio. Look at this. Ready? Like, they did not need to go that hard. Like, why? It's just a... it's a goofy face. Yeah, just a level of excellence, man. And yeah, last shot of the episode, or one of them, being of the legs, her kind of playfully tapping along there, just dreaming of her new high school experience. We've introduced a small conflict in the first episode and paid off on it, but she ultimately hasn't changed that much yet. She's still very goofy. Contrast with the intro to the movie in the third year, where she is very, very... Oh no, not the movie, the season 2, where she's very switched on, and she's like playing that really difficult riff or whatever. Or riff, I guess I should say. Yeah. Meaning through repetition and change and stuff. It's just good. And I mean, I don't need to say anything about Don't Say Lazy. It is fantastic. It is brilliant. Naoko Yamada directed it herself as well. The K-On! EDs are unbeaten. They have the best EDs in anything. For the record, I probably prefer season 2's second one, over this one, which is called Listen, off the top of my head. They're all good, though, obviously. And yeah, the outfits are slay. We even reflect the opening there with a little bit of name and instrument on screen. This stuff's just nice. I wish every show did this. It would help me to remember names. And yeah, the songs are bop. Yoko Hikasa just fucking killing it as well. Yeah, lots of stuff. And then onto the preview. We'll leave it there. I don't know if that episode or that video that you've just watched was particularly productive. I didn't really learn anything that I didn't already know. Well, kinda. I liked it. I enjoyed myself. Hopefully you guys did as well. Yeah. It's good TV. If you haven't seen that show, just watch all of it now. Like, stop watching my stupid videos and go do that. Because it's perfect. It's so good. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Next week, I'm starting up Land of the Lustrous, the manga. Please look forward to it. There should also be a poll on the channel currently for G-Witch stuff. So have a look if you're interested. Either way, we're leaving it there. Thanks for watching today, and I'll catch you later. Goodbye.